Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a while, I admit. We had, during the last week, Summer Games Done Quick was doing their annual event? No. Biannual? Semi-annual, that's the word. Semi-annual speedrunning event for charity and whatnot. And got a little distracted because there were some games I wanted to watch being speedrun and all that. Metroid Dread being one of them. Love that game. Good speedrunning event too. But one of the more interesting things, like there was definitely a couple games that I watched, but one of the more interesting ones was somebody was running Final Fantasy X, which is a pretty good game. It's also a pretty long game under normal circumstances, but this time around, they had, so Final Fantasy X HD Remastered is pretty much out on everything these days. On the PC specifically, I may have wanted to retreat the Metapod, because he might get knocked out. It's fine. It's fine. We accepted his fate long ago. But, on the PC edition, there's a couple people who've modded the game, which allows you to remove the cutscenes in the game, which is pretty good actually, because it's a really long game and there's a lot of cutscenes, like a lot. They don't call it Final Fantasy the movie for nothing. It is like, so they were able to beat the game in about less than 4 hours in one straight go. I'm gonna actually change that around. And like that's pretty big, because usually I'm used to seeing it like 7 and 8 hours long. Critical, that's actually. Heart Attack is rock? Cause that makes sense. Anyway, we're learning stuff here. Heart Attack is now rock, okay. Could deal with flying Pokemon with Nidoran as well as Pikachu. Got it. This is all making sense. Anyway, so... Woo! No! I accidentally hit my little platform. Sorry if that came off as loud. But I saved the microphone, and that's the important part. Alright, I can also run back here. Anyway, so, Final Fantasy X, cutscene removal mod. 3.5 hours, no, probably like 3:45 I think. Slightly under 4 hours. I'm gonna stick with that as my final answer. But... the actual run itself was actually kind of entertaining, despite like the fact that the guy was running it at 3 a.m. in the morning to start with, right? And you know he's gonna go for 4 hours, kind of deal. So he was a little drunk on the lack of sleep, but still managed to be quite entertaining as a result. So was not disappointed. But one of the more interesting things that he talked about was the speedrun for the game is now, like it's pretty good, where now they have, like a pretty good note system that they've got that allows newer players, like, to kind of get a grasp of what's going on, what they have to do, and all that. Jigglypuff, the bane of my existence. This is Revenge of the Metapod! Anyway, like, I've had, like, a pretty good look through the notes myself, and I'm like, oh, it's actually, like, really good. You have to understand, because it's split into 2 columns on each page, and so I have to read the left column first, then the right column next. But it's actually, like, listed well out of being like, do this, do that. If you don't have this, do this first, kind of deal. Charmander should be next, apparently. Messed up the ordering there. Yes! Yes! Not gonna put this guy to sleep today. Charmander doesn't even sleep. You fool. Okay. Charmander's taking a nap. I see how it is today. Yes! Charmander don't sleep on no one's schedule. Anyway, the whole point is I'm actually replaying Final Fantasy X HD Remastered. It's a long title, surprisingly. On the PS Vita, which, admittedly, I bought the Vista. I keep saying it's Vita. The PS Vita. I call it the PS Vista. And it's just... It's rather rude, because it's actually better than Windows Vista. It's hard to kick the habits. Yeah, I meant B. I meant to hit B. Alright. But, I'm now replaying the game, following these notes, and I'm like, it's a good way, because it's actually, like, Final Fantasy X is surprisingly difficult. Has some just serious gatekeepers in the way that you're just like, nah, bro. Hope you're strong enough to take them on, because if you're not, you're gonna be grinding it out for days. I was hoping he wasn't gonna knock out the Metapod, but, you know, just, it's a dead hope, is what it is. It's a dead hope. Didn't even give me a chance to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Good thing it was a critical hit. I'm gonna switch so that quick attack is up at the top. Makes it a little bit easier. There we go. Yes! Yes! Been waiting for that for so long. Forget it takes forever for him to learn that in Gen 1 days. It's not exactly pretty. Alright. You should be faster. I'll double check. 19, yeah, come on. Like, 14 is actually pretty good. I mean, let's look at Pikachu's speed. See, he's at 24. Like, that's super fast, right? But 19's pretty good. 19 is pretty swell. Not gonna lie. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Trying to think if anything else is happening. I do like the fact I can actually run indoors as well as outdoors. Saves just a little bit of time. I keep forgetting, though, that I can run in this version. This hacked ROM, as it were. Not used to... I mean, used to, you know, when I see these graphics, I go, yes, we're slow walking everywhere till we find a bicycle. Which you don't get till basically you have 3 badges, so it's a while. Alright. Let me double check the loadout. Perfect. Perfect. Are you a trainer? No? Don't look at me like that! I'm trying to think if anything else interesting has actually happened. It's actually been a quiet week. We did go with some friends for like a 4th of July party. We did it the day before, because, you know, drunk people like to drive around on oh no! I just realized I don't have my water bottle! We're surviving today. Alright, we'll go get it though, don't worry. Don't worry. We'll be in our grasp soon enough. I usually carry with me back here too, which is the surprising part. So it's just as odd. Anyway, so we went to a 4th of July party. Just hung out with some friends, played some games, played some Jackbox. We actually played number 2. And I forgot that it actually has some good games on number 2. Just, you know, we keep buying the new ones every single time they release them. Typically it's been October, so you get kind of lost. So I have all of them except for the first one, which is fine because the first one basically is like the basic versions of games you do see later on anyway. So I'm like I don't really need it. Not when you've got 2 through 8 and Drawful 2. You can't forget that. Can't forget that. I did see recently-ish that they made like a starter pack of the Jackbox games, which is, I believe it's Quiplash, Fibbage, and Trivia Murder Party 2, I believe. I think it was $15, which it was either $15 or $20, which the normal game is like $25 for 5 games. So I'm a little iffy on the price, but it is the good games that I'm like, no, these are perfect for anybody starting off. I'm actually just gonna retreat the Metapod. I don't trust him being out here any longer. I don't trust him. Alright. So we go through that. Go through this. Oh gosh. Come on, Ritata, you can do it. We actually had a pretty big blackout. I want to say it was... I'm trying to think day-wise. Maybe 5 days, 6 days ago? Let me see. It was probably 5 days ago. you know, it just had been stormy and whatnot, so, like, it happens. But the blackout was pretty big enough, like, area-wise, time-wise as well, but area, honestly, it looked like it had knocked out the cell phone tower, because I couldn't even get good cell phone reception. I was bouncing off of a way far off tower. So, like, honestly, like, just trying to enter basic, like, Google information, like the letter G, it took like 5 minutes for it to just start showing the page results for it. I'm like, oh Nelly, that is not good. So that was a good time. Nidoran. Alright. Can't believe the Metapod still hasn't leveled up. Look at this, Rattata and Nidoran both have leveled up. Metapod, he doesn't care. He wants to be a Metapod forever. Does not want to play ball with me on this one. Good news though, I have a Charmander. He knows Ember. And it's a Weedle. Fight me, boy! Alright. Good mighty Ember. Oh, I've missed you fire attacks. Yes. I wish I wasn't slower than the Weedle, but since he's not hurting the Charmander, it's an acceptable loss. There we go. Metapod finally wishes to join the Cool Kids Club. How funny would have been if Charmander leveled up. Been like, oh no. Oh no. Alright. There's a little bit of housekeeping here. Why has my Pikachu got more health than my Charmander? How's that even possible? It shouldn't be. Ugh. Alright. Let's go face this trainer and then we'll do another heal up. We're getting pretty close, but since we can't actually go back up, it just makes sense to go back heal. Repeat the process. Okay, so we do have to be careful, because we know Nidoran now can know a rock type of move. Just like that. Just like that. Not even with a by your leave. Just... alright. This is why we have 5 other Pokemon to deal with. Okay, that's scary. That's highly scary. Look at the Pikachu's going first. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually just gonna start playing it safe, go with the Thunder Wave. It is a level 14 versus my level 9. Like, it's his only one, but I mean, I have a Pidgey who's gonna be weak to the rock attacks. I have a Metapod gonna be weak to the rock attacks. Good thing Pikachu is super strong, apparently, because he took that like a champ. Did not care. Alright. Go Metapod. You're the best around. Also, the good news is that my Pokemon should be faster guaranteed than the Nidoran, since paralysis cuts your speed by half. Okay. Okay. Everyone's getting knocked out. Someone's gonna get a mighty good amount of experience points. Could be the Rattata. Yes, we want that crit. Yes! Now he's finally become paralyzed after just slaughtered half my team. Didn't even say please, just went, nope. Gonna delete your characters. Oh, alright, let me take it slow there. Alright, so here's what I do. I'm gonna go heal, go back to where I was, and grab my water. So I'll see you shortly. Alright, got my water, super sweet. It's a good day to be alive. You can find my new Pokemon. I'd rather not. I mean, it's nice experience points, but I mean, it's a bug catcher. Maybe he's like us his friend and he's got it. Okay, I'll take a Caterpie. I'll take a Caterpie. Especially, did we switch our Pokemon around? Didn't have to. As long as we're on top of that. I won't say no to a Charmander using Ember on a Caterpie. I just was curious. Just was curious. Oh, Caterpie's so fast now. Let's go zoom, zoom, zoom. Alright. Bravo! Bravo! Loving it. Alright. Saw his speed went up to 21. He's so quick. So quick. Call him Speedy Mander. Alright, Pikachu. It's 1v1 fights. Let's see. I'm honestly, I'm trying to think of other things that might have happened. And not a whole lot has happened. We had cloudy days, we had a couple rainy days, but most of it was just cloudy, which actually wasn't so bad. There was an online friend who said, yeah, it was reaching like 80 degrees. And he's like, it's unbearably hot. And I said, I'm like, it's 80s are like the low of my day. If I'm lucky, it dips into like 78. I'm like, it's usually, I'm like, honestly, I'm at the point where if I'm walking around, like at nighttime, as I usually do for like exercise, I'm like, I consider it a good day when it's only 91 degrees at night. He's like, oh, sounds terrible. He's not wrong. I'm just like, I won't see 78 as a high till basically October, November. Like, we're gonna be seeing 90s and 100s for a long time, so he shouldn't be complaining. Should not be complaining. Why is... I'm confused by that. Scratch is ineffective, quote-unquote. It's less effective against the Metapod, but Metapod should be just a bug, so Scratch... I think we had a similar instance where we thought Scratch might be something else. So it could be like a bug-type move. To me, that doesn't really make sense. It's a really strong... I mean, it's a level 14 Diglett, sure. Can we also talk about that she has a level 14 Diglett? Just talk about that for a second. Anyway. Super effective. It makes me think it's bug, but I don't know. Maybe it's just... Because I think bug's good against poison-type enemies. It gets really tricky sometimes. Because you don't always think about the exact setup going on. Okay, that changes everything. Maybe it's ground. Ground would make sense. Oh gosh, ground would make a lot of sense just because of... So if we use Pidgey, we shouldn't have to worry about Scratch. Just worry about the pounds. I actually kind of would like to see if he does Scratch. Just to see... But he's not playing ball with me, because if he did Scratch and it is ineffective completely, then that confirms that it's a ground-type move. We really keep on our toes around here. Like, this game does not let me have, and just, it goes, nah, bro. It weirdly makes a little bit of sense that it's a ground-type, because it's, you know, there's no rock here. I'm used to there being a rock in the Fire Red Omega versions. That's what I want to do. Alright. Because usually there's a rock there. There might be a secret item in Gen 1 somewhere around there as well. But I'm used to there being a rock and you just press A on it and bam! Found paradise. How am I looking on items? I can actually probably just dump most of those items in the PC. Because I'm gonna guess that he didn't mess with how many items I could carry. Spoiler alert, it's 20. We don't really need these right now, like the Iron Elixir and the Rare Candy. We want to save Rare Candy for the ends, just to get some free level ups that way. Alright. The cave. Hello, cave. Hello, you are beautiful. Alright. I'm gonna just walk over this way. I'm nearing up at the end of time, but I just want us to get a little bit of info. Also grab the item off to the left here, and then we can just be on our merry way. Oh no! Oh no! Not what I was hoping for. Sometimes down and left are the same thing on this controller. Gotta just be a little careful. Alright. At least it's a Metapod. I shall start off with a Thunder Wave. Slow you right down. I'm not worried about Pikachu being slower than a Metapod off the bat. But they typically will do string shots to slow my Pikachu down. And I'd rather just not. I'd rather just be like, nah. Plus, the paralysis chances are pretty good. Might help me out more. See, look at that. He tried. He thought, I shall slow this Pikachu down. Did not want to. Yes! Maybe Pikachu will learn Quick Attack? I would like him to learn a different move that is not Electric type because he is kinda useless against the ground types, and as a result, the rock type monsters, of which I'm sure there's gonna be a couple. There are some hikers in this place. They've been known to have them. I've been known to have them on their team. Now we're just... Oh no, he's got Poison Sting. I was gonna be like, this will be a slow death. But as it turns out, he can deal 10 points of damage to my Metapod. So he can only take one more Poison Sting, and that will be the end of that story. Retreat him back. Just want the Metapod to be Butterfree soon. Because the Butterfree... At least in Gen 1, I prefer the Butterfree over the Kakuna. Like, a Beedrill isn't as effective against, like, most of the other types as is the Butterfree. Plus, like, Butterfree, at least in Gen 1, learns, like, Sleep Powder, the Stun Powder as well, making it easier to go and capture some Pokemon. Like, if you're gonna go Abra hunting, let me tell you, want a Butterfree. You want a Butterfree that's also quick. That's another thing. Because if you can get a Butterfree that goes first, puts the Abra to sleep, you suddenly have an easier chance of catching said Abra. Might have to go without it because we don't... I'm like, it's clear that some of the things definitely have changed. So we're not even sure if the Butterfree will actually get it. Get to the points that it can be faster than Abra, let alone have the sleep ability. I'd have to go with paralysis if I didn't. Like, if I didn't get that, but I got the stun powder, I'd go for that instead. Wait. You're level 11 now! Join the big club! Woot woot! Alright, let's get you all sorted out. Oh, there's a big health difference between the Rattata and Pidgey. Not used to that. Not used to that at all. Alright, let's go grab the item. Yes, I meant this side. A super potion is actually not bad. But I'm gonna call it quits here. We'll continue our adventure as we go deep into the mines of Moria next time. Hope you're all enjoying your day, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.